Okay, welcome back to the Mojave Gardener. We're going to do a garden update, show you our morning harvest for this morning, and go over a little bit of the fertilizer that we've been using here recently to help the plants out, and it's working very well. So let's get started here. Alright, we're going to start here in the greenhouse with these tomatoes. We still haven't gotten anything off of them, but the blooms are starting to get bigger on here, so we're making some progress in here with our fertilizer. And what I'll do is I'll show you here. We've been using this, I'll get in closer here, Job's organic vegetable and tomato granulated food that gets put on every 2 weeks. And also we're using Epsom salt, which is magnesium sulfate, and that helps with fruit production and bloom production. So we have a 1 tablespoon of that we do once a month, and like I said, with the Job's, that's every other week. And I don't like having to do this, but we're still building our soil up here, which was just decomposed granite fill that they put in when they built this house back in '91. Well, I can't get into the bag one-handed. So, but our plants in here in the greenhouse have gotten just the Job's, and they've tripled in size up here just in the last 2 weeks. And our plant over here that we've taken cuttings off of is actually starting to flower. I'm going to be pulling some leaves off of there. And our pepper plant in here is surviving. Still don't have any peppers on it. Looks like a bloom right here. So maybe, just maybe, we might get something off of that. So the tomato plant over here that we started is just going like crazy. It's got a lot of blooms on it, and I just saw we had spiders hatch in here. I don't know if you can see those. I don't know if they're small. They're probably too small, but there's about 2 dozen of them right there in front of the camera. I don't know if the camera can see them sitting on a web. Okay, normally we end with the tomatillos, but I'll start with them here. So you can see the plants are just covered in tomatillos starting. So I had to put a string on here to pull them back up off of the ground to keep the bugs out of them. And our trees that are frost intolerant here, I've got them out in the middle of the yard so they get more sun. As you'll see in a minute, the rest of the garden has gotten so big that these things weren't getting any sun. So let's get over here to the newer garden, this year's garden that we started. The tomatoes, as you can see, they've really grown up here, and they're shading the poor little peach tree here. But as you can see, those things have really gotten up there. And see, I'll go up here, and the sun's back there. We don't want to put the sun right into the camera, so we'll come back over this side, and you see the tomatoes are up there about 9 feet tall. They're starting to come out from the bottom again, and one of our tomatoes is getting ready right here. One of the Cherokee purples. We've got another one growing in here. So I don't think we're going to do the Cherokee purples anymore. They're a heritage heirloom tomato, and when you start getting into those heirloom tomatoes, they have a tendency to have emaciated blossoms, and that makes for a very nasty tomato, and you have to cut a lot of it out. Our serranos here, they're just covered. This plant too's got a lot on them. They're finally coming in. This is what the fertilizer does for you. Finally makes those blossoms set. Have jalapenos growing in here. They're starting to put off a few. This plant's really small. It's shaded in here, but this one's covered in all different sizes of jalapenos. So got some up here. They're, for this plant anyways, fairly large. I like to see them a lot bigger than that, but that's what we're getting this year. Weather. Over here, our other peach tree and our strawberry popcorn. Here you can see they're just grown. These aren't very big ears. They're not supposed to be. They're only like 3 inches long, so 2 to 3 inches, and then you're supposed to be able to put them, the whole cob, directly into a bag and into the microwave and pop them that way. So we'll see how that comes out. We've got our apple tree here. And we've harvested all of our sweet potatoes. There wasn't a whole lot. Everything was fairly small. A lot of vine on top, but nothing really substantial. They were all small potatoes. And these plants here, they're finally starting to put off some blossoms. And this was supposed to be a bell pepper, and it is not a bell pepper. It is something else. So I got my plants messed up. We'll see what this one is, because nothing's growing on it yet, but they're starting to do better, especially now that we have all the other plants out from around them. The peppers down in here are doing good. I'm going to have to harvest them. So I'll quickly show you our harvest today. We've got this is one of the Cherokee purple, and when I say emaciated blossom, this is what you get from an emaciated blossom. What it is there's more than one blossom in there, in the blossom cluster, and then that's what does this. It wraps itself around the base here and makes it very hard to get to. Where a standard single blossom tomato looks like this, just one clean round tomato. You can see we've had a few warm days and these things split open easily. That's the problems with gardening in the desert. So, and we had a nice big watermelon here. That is our 4th one this year. And since we started putting the fertilizer on these guys, as you can see, we have a lot of Roma tomatoes now. They're doing pretty good. This one over here has got a few on it now. And my hot cayenne peppers, it's just covered in peppers now. This one's got a lot of them on there too. You can see right here. And the between the sun and the cutworms destroyed my strawberry plants right here. I have one left, but we still have all these that are back over here underneath this tomillo that are growing like crazy, so hopefully this next year we'll have a lot. And this tomato plant is covered in tomatoes finally. I gotta pull it back up off the ground. Our regular apple tree here that I haven't done anything with yet this year is just growing nicely. And our volunteer watermelon here actually has a little watermelon on it right here. So, and we've gotten 4 or 5 pickling cucumbers off of this volunteer cucumber that came up, and there's another one growing right here. You can see there. Okay, our sweet banana peppers are finally starting to leaf out here, and we've got some blooms on this one. Hopefully we start getting some peppers. So, and our spaghetti squash, as you can see, they've come all the way over from this side over here, comes up and over, and there's a spaghetti squash right there. And there's my hand. That thing is about, my hand spans 9 inches, so that's 10 inches long, and I can't even get halfway around it with my hand, so that thing is huge. You can see all these in here. We got 2 big ones here. A little one down there, came all the way down over. We've got some hanging here. We got a big one there. And a nice big one. Turned out we had 2 different varieties of spaghetti squash in here out of the same package. So, and we've got 2 great big squashes in here and another big one in there. So these things are really big. We've got some big ones down there, another big one down in there. Our bell peppers are doing really well. If I can keep whatever it is that's eating them from eating them. Starting to get some more growing on here. I have to go get some more cages to hold them up. Seems like if they're up off the ground, the whatever it is, I think it's somebody's pet rat that escaped, as I've seen him around here at nighttime. I've come out to see what's running around the yard at night, and oh, we got a bunch of Anaheim chilies in here. You can see the yellow zucchini down there starting. And we still have this great big huge one in here. That one's at least a foot long and just as big around. And then there's another one over here. It's probably 10-11 inches long. They're just all over the place. Our volunteer tomato plant here has been giving us nice tomatoes, and it is a indeterminate, so it doesn't grow really big. It just pretty much stays about, this is about as big as that plant's going to get right now. So, but there's a ton of tomatoes on there, ranging from ping pong all the way up to softball size. And then these tomatoes are taking off. They're starting to produce. Okay, we'll come in here to the shade of the spaghetti squash to end this video. If you like our videos, please subscribe, hit that bell notification so that you're notified whenever we put out a new video. And please like our videos, share them on your social media. And we also have a Facebook page, Friends of the Mojave Gardener. Please check us out and have a great day and keep gardening.